That's right, and it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
I.S.U.P.K.com is the website. Commander General Yahanna, I'm in the building. I got the heavy hitters in here with me tonight with all the madness going on. General Muhammad in the building holding it down. General Allah in the building holding it down. Officer Marah with his team, Yedayah Ibad in the building. Oh, and Cat McCall, everybody's in the building. God damn it, the world is here. You know what I'm saying? God, can you bring back on them a little bit? God. So yeah, so big shout out to Cat McCall, Abraham, and all his squad out there at the Hebrew Academy this week. We went out and saw the Hebrew Academy, man. They blew me off. I was blown away. Okay, big shout out to Officer Daniela up in here with us too, also assisting a minute. Kazak Imad, right? Also, who else? Cap Maria as well. Man, let me tell you something. That Hebrew Academy march was better than Esau's. I'm telling you. I'll go a step further.
That's right.
They had a movie. I'm a little, I got a little time on me. But they had a movie out where these Jakes had got locked up in the military and they was marching them. And then the Jakes started switching up the steps in the army. Y'all remember that movie? Y'all probably don't remember that movie.
I do, and I wish I remembered the name.
Yes, I wish I could remember the name of that movie.
I know Lawrence Fishburne was in it.
Yeah, he was in it. It was all the usual black actors was in it at the time. They was all locked up, and they was in the military. They got locked up in the military, so they had to do the march. And the brothers start flavoring up. Well, guess what? If the Lord allow, you're gonna see a treat this Passover because you're gonna see a march better than that march by Cap McCall and his team. Better than that, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to convince me. I'm killing everybody in here with criticism. They're about tired of me. About to do me like Caesar, man. Sick of my criticism. But, brother, when I saw this march that these brothers put together, it wasn't nothing I could say. They marched double file, and on the march, flipped it into 3 lanes. Esau don't even do that. That joint was bad, like I can't even explain. Like, you gonna be impressed this year. You think last year was something? I don't know. Was y'all planning on march coming in there? Man, if they march up in that Passover, man, you ain't gonna be no more good. Because it was smoking bad. So, congratulations to all the brothers, man, that completed the Hebrew Academy. They went through that hardship, man, and ready for their trials and get ready to get it on in about 3 weeks down in Cocoa Beach, Florida, man, for the graduation. A lot of cats got cut from the roster. The roster started out big, as it does every year, but a lot of cats got cut. But don't worry. Next year is available too. For whatever reason you wasn't able to complete this year, you can come back next year and get into it, man. And the Most High have grace on you and mercy on you and bring you on through the fire. You know what I'm saying? So look forward to that this year. So Can we get into it?
Come on.
What's rocking, y'all?
Done.
He didn't have a family waiting to welcome him back. Wrongfully convicted man clear now to seek damages from Ohio after serving 45 years of a life sentence.
45 years of a life sentence, man. That's crazy. Keep going.
An Ohio court has declared a man wrongfully imprisoned after he spent 45 years incarcerated for the murder of his wife, Isaiah Andrews, 84, who was convicted of the crime in 1975, was found not guilty after a new trial in October. The court's March 10th ruling allows Andrews to seek damages from the state. It was the third longest wrongful imprisonment in the United States, according to the National Registry of Exonerations.
And let me tell you something, Mark. What year was he convicted? Does it say it in the article?
1975.
1975. Now ask yourself, the question to ask is, what went on in this empire in 1975? I'll tell you what went on. That's when every single black radical group was rising up. That was the years of the Black Panthers and everybody, because that was right after they killed Martin Luther King, killed all the black leaders, okay, incarcerated them, and then black people had no way after that. So they started getting radical. So what did the white man do? He poured heroin totally in all the ghettos, especially the ones that was fighting against Vietnam. And so what was the tumble effect of that? Then they started the mass incarceration. During the time of Nixon, brother, they said that they created the war on drugs during the time of Nixon just so that they could break up black groups. And because of that, they were locking up massive amounts of brothers back then. And you would think after all of that, even if it was 10 years later, you think they would have went and looked back at how they went roughshod over black people after they murdered black leaders. You think they would have went back and said, well, let's look at it, man. Let's see what happened and get these brothers back out of prison. There was tons of brothers locked up on false charges back then, because this has been an evil place. And here's the ironic part. We're reading about this today. We're reading about it today. And if I could just divert, I know we're going to go into it. But right now, they're about to put a black woman on the Supreme Court of the United States. Once again, the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. Because the way he's dealing with us is like you treat an animal with the carrot and the stick. You speak up against the evil things that he's done, and you end up in jail for life and have to spend 45 years in prison. But if you go out and get a white man as your husband and conform to their society and rise up through their ranks, then they will give you the carrot. Then you get the carrot. That woman, and I'm going to tell you about a Harvard professor real quick. That sister should be allowed to go up into the Congress, and when they ask her, why should we make you a Supreme Court judge? She should be able to openly say to them, because you have been so unjust to black people and Latino people and Native Indian people that I want to be a Supreme Court judge so I can stop all the evil cases that you've been allowing brothers and sisters to get locked up for so many damn years. But you can't tell them that. You can't tell them that, because really this has always been about white supremacists, white supremacy. And let me tell you something, if I could. I don't want to run too much. Y'all stop. But I'm examining this Ukraine, but mainly the media in the Ukraine. And that media in this Ukraine situation, they showing how much and how important white people are and how unimportant dark people are. And boy, we should wake up and see it, that it ain't just in this empire, part of the empire. It's worldwide. Worldwide. They've used their power to empower themselves and put everybody else down. And brother, this brother is a victim of that. This brother's a victim of the 1975 BS that they've been running down on us for so many years, man. This cat go 45 years. I'm surprised he even survived that long. And they probably only overturned it because he's in a wheelchair dying. When you go back and read the story, he's in a wheelchair dying after 45 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. That's what she should be saying when she go up to the Supreme Court. You couldn't, you should have been able to expect it from what's his name? Clarence Thomas. Here's another black person, married a white woman, went to the Supreme Court, ain't do a single writing about the disparages of black people. Nothing like that. That old Jewish woman, what's her name? She just Gaines. I forget her name. Little Jewish woman. They act like she's so tough.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She did more writings about the disparages of justice for blacks and Latinos than a Negro sitting on the damn court. He's sitting on the Supreme Court, and he ain't do a single one about it, man. That's what she should be saying on that. This is madness, man, we living with. And you telling us we should not, like, this ain't going on with white people. We ain't supposed to have some sense of ourselves. And if you, it's damn near like, let me tell you something. That's why we get a lot of pushback. Because you can't have no sense of yourself as a people, or you get treated like garbage. Am I lying?
Hell no.
Or you get treated worse because it's like, that's not allowed. Like, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to have that kind of care and love for your own. When we better find it. We better find it because Lord knows we got it for them. And she going on that Supreme Court not to bring justice to the black men who've been being destroyed, but to be a part of their system, to pat herself on the back with the accolades of success for getting on the Supreme Court. And you, being Christians and dumb as the bottom of my shoe, you gonna turn around and look at it like it's hope for us. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like our life gonna get better because this broad done got on the Supreme Court, and now things are gonna be better. Now it's 2 black people on the Supreme Court. You ain't got 2 black people on the Supreme Court. You got 2 white people on the Supreme Court with chocolate on them. You ain't got 2 black people on that Supreme Court. It's ridiculous, man. 45 years. Crime he didn't even commit. Listen, and if I could be wrong, but in the article, I think they said how the detectives lied on the brother about the case and had the proof and all. There you go, right there. That's him in the wheelchair. The brothers lied about him. The detectives lied about him, and that's how he got convicted. And of course, once again, this is the part with every single one of these stories. This is the part that burns me up. Is we read these stories and bring these stories out, and we never, ever, ever, rarely hear about the justice happening to them. Them detectives supposed to go to jail. They supposed to go, I don't care what age they are, right now, in a retirement home or wherever the hell they at, they supposed to go to jail for doing this. This is common. This is common practice. Okay, and in the 70s, it was damn near a mandate to lock up everybody. Wasn't no video cameras back in 75. Wasn't no iPhone in 75. So the main weight of the case was the detective's testimony. Whatever that detective said, that was what was going to happen. That's why they had a 99% conviction rate when brothers was struggling so much. I mean, black people during the 70s was in poverty like you can't even explain. You understand? Living in tenement houses down in New York City, living in a tenement house, you don't know where your next meal coming from. Meanwhile, this man taking over the whole damn world. Black people had to share, like, we knew about brotherhood and sisterhood then. Y'all jump in if y'all want to get in. Like brother, like back then, you understood, bro. Nobody had to teach you about brotherhood because you needed brotherhood and sisterhood because you needed it to survive. You needed it to survive and function, and them days are coming back. Thanks be to the Most High, because those days are our birthing pains to get us out of this hell from this type of madness, man. Right. Because listen, if you're a black man in America, Latino or Native Indian, and you hear this story and you ain't somehow saying to yourself, could this be me? And we know brothers in here that done got convicted off of stuff they didn't even do and sitting in jail. All my life, I grew up with cats like that. Some cats did stuff. and deserved to go to jail. But tons of cats did not stop. There's brothers, I told you, I've mentioned this many times. There's brothers that I grew up with in New York City, up in that Bronx side, that's crippled and mentally ill from beatings from cops to this day. You see them right now, you think they got cerebral palsy or something. You don't know what the hell happened to them. And then when you sit down and talk to them, they tell you what happened to them 30, 40 years ago. She's supposed to get up in that Supreme Court commission and lay it on them. And they supposed to accept. That's who they, listen, they supposed to be bringing her in for that damn reason. They ain't supposed to be bringing her in just to conform to the system. And they had a Harvard professor that came on. And they said, Harvard professor, what should she expect? And what should she expect in the questioning? You know what that Harvard professor said? She said, well, before I get to that, I'd like to say what I would like to see her do. I would like to see her be a representative for the regular guy that comes up. And that was cold. That she really saying for the black man. She said, I'd like him to be a representative for the common guy. You understand? I like the common person to know that when his case goes to the Supreme Court, she will take his case seriously and he'll have an advocate for the average guy. That's what she's saying what we say. What is supposed to happen if you got to go up in there. But of course, she said, but more than likely, she will be questioned on her ability to be impartial. Meaning, in other words, she gonna be questioned on whether or not are you gonna give niggas preferential treatment? Excuse my French. And this was and this is a Harvard law professor, black woman. She said that's what she's gonna be questioned on, whether she could be impartial.
Which she's already proven that she doesn't prefer black people by her choice and husband.
There you go. Good. Like it's not enough. They still looking like it. You a secret nigga lover. Are you going? All right, Salaki, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Yeah, like, are you in secret gonna turn around and actually help these Negroes, or are you gonna toe the line like it's been? And that's why, man, you better put your trust in Yahawashi right now. Right. That book called the Bible, our Constitution, brother. You better go pull that record out now and fill yourself up with it, because this endless hope in madness that never comes to fruition is going to finally come to an end. You're going to finally have a chance to relax from your pork-eating campaign of trying to save this empire and be a part of this empire. Your Martin Luther King dream is finally going to be put to rest. And finally, the Lord, and let me tell you something, if I could. Big shout out to the Israelite school, UPK. Big shout out to General Mahim and all the General Mayap, General Shalom, General Hazayan, all the generals, the captains. Big shout out to them, because let me tell you something what the world don't know. This is a secret I'm going to tell you. This is a secret only Israelites know. That the Most High is building a nation quietly underneath this empire. And brother, he's raising up brothers in this empire, not with guns or all of that. They already had those. He's raising them up with wisdom according to the records. And in short order, you're going to see the Lord bring this beautiful thing that he's creating out before the world. And when he does, you're going to be shocked at how did God take men from prison, from the ghetto, from poverty, and from Harvard, brought them together and created something out that they created a nation that can finally help itself, even in its utter poverty. That's right. Even in its utter hell, it can finally help its damn self out. And brother, that's the day we look forward to. Like they want this sister, last point, I'm gonna get up off. They want this sister to speak up and for advocate for black people on the Supreme Court. But what the Lord is going to do is raise up a whole nation that is an advocate for blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. And brother, they're going to pour into that body. And just like during the days of the Sadducees and Pharisees,
both the black leadership, Latino, Native Indian leadership, and the white man are going to be shocked at what God have done, how he restored the morality and the righteous spirit and the will to do what is right inside his chosen people. That all the things they did to turn you into a lust-filled piece of garbage is going to end. They're going to be shocked to see you forgiving brothers and sisters. They're going to be shocked to see that sisters stop being whores. They're going to be shocked to see that brothers work together for the benefit of their nation. They're going to be shocked to see that. And they're going to want to end it. But it's too damn late. You done already put your money behind Ukraine. And the slot machine is rolling. And I got bad news for you. It ain't coming up sevens, man. It's going to be bad. So lock it up.
Damn right, good man.
Damn right. 45 years.
If I could illuminate the point that we're in hell, I just Googled this about will you go to jail in America for financial fraud, meaning lying for financial gain. And of course, you've heard of Bernie Madoff.
Right.
And you've heard of Ponzi schemes.
Yeah.
And it says this: if you've been charged with a financially motivated fraud, you need to take action. These cases are serious, especially if you are being charged at a federal level. But of course, if you lie and a man does 45 years in jail, you aren't under any threat of criminal charges at all. But if you are Bernie Madoff and rich white men lost their trust funds, you're going to jail for probably the rest of your life. But Emmett Till's accuser, the white woman that said that Emmett Till whistled at her, she confessed while she was alive.
Yes.
And was not arrested.
And still what?
And the police that have lied on countless cases that have put innocent black men in jail are never arrested, because when you steal money, you actually are hurting something that matters. Shalom.
It's good. And Slocky, sorry. And I think of all the propaganda that America puts, like this beast, this white man is ruling over us. It's so subtle. Everybody's seeing these on his movies, on different shows, where they make a joke out of prisoners saying, I'm innocent, man. I didn't do it. They make a joke out of it. I've seen plenty of movies where the inmates are talking and they say, what you in for? He said, man, I didn't even do what they said I did. And then they laugh and say, ha ha, none of us did. None of you. Hey, Joe, what you do? I ain't do nothing, man. And they make a whole joke out of you saying you're innocent as a prisoner. And that affects the minds of especially white America and citizens. Because now when a man really, when it's truth on, it's like, all prisoners say that. We don't believe. And they don't even investigate it until recently, until now, certain cases, starting to come out. That's actually the truth. Like even black people, I even growing up, I remember hearing grown-ups and black people say, well, he ain't in there for no reason. They ain't locking you up for no reason. Mamas telling their kids, they ain't locking you up for no reason. Like if the white man got you in there, then we just assume it got to be a reason. You have done something wrong. And that's the witchcraft, the Lord talk about in this Bible.
And that goes to what Commander General YAHANNA was talking about that Supreme Court justice prospect. I forget her name. Kenyatta Johnson. I forget her name. Say again? Kenyatta Brown. Of course, Commander General YAHANNA was speaking about it because she was just proposed to be a Supreme Court justice this week by Joe Biden. And of course, she has a white husband. And you're going to find that everywhere. Most people, unless you've been asleep for the last 2 years, you've noticed the countless images of black women being married to white men. It's virtually on every show, on every commercial. It's has anyone noticed this before? Raise your hand if you noticed this. Oh my God. It's everywhere.
I see it all the time.
It's on everything. It's in the vice president's house.
That's right.
It's everywhere. Black women married to a white man. And it's something that is being pushed now, sir, like I haven't seen before. The only thing I can remember is when I remember that black men at one time were being pushed into marrying white women. And they did it. And because they did it, everyone believed that the measure of success in life was to have a foreign car and a foreign woman.
Yeah.
And every rich black man went to do it. Now they're doing the same thing with black women marrying white men. And of course, sir, I researched this woman and her man. And during my research, I knew I would find out how this white man was beneficial to her career. Because with all of them, when a black woman marries a white man, it's not for lust. It's not because he's some sexual power or handsome, because he is not. But it's always because somehow this white man helped her career. This is, if she's a singer, he's a producer. He owns a record label. And of course, this white man is a doctor. And he is related to former Speaker of the House. I forget his Ryan. Charles Ryan.
I know, just Republican. Staunch. It was a big Trump supporter.
Big Trump supporter.
Bowed out after a while.
Paul
Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
That's it.
He is related to Paul Ryan. And now she's a Supreme Court justice.
Lo and behold.
Shocker. Right? And all of them do that because really these are just driven, ambitious whores. And they would have sex with this microphone if they could make Supreme Court justice. They would do anything for it. If it makes them vice president or tenures them at Harvard University or makes them professor or gets them on a board, they would have sex with a goddamn camera. They do anything for it. And soon they're going to be the measure of success. Just like Tiger Woods and Bill Cosby were to black men. Soon black women are going to say, I'm missing one thing to make it to my goal. And that's a white husband that can help my career. So I can say.
Heavy. Go ahead.
Oh, Jesus. This was on the internet all crazy. This is, I don't know what this is even for.
Go ahead. No, but that's one. But there's another picture with them where he got her on the leash.
Down his legs, all
right, or wrapped on his legs or something. Yeah. You know, man. And of course, with her stupid behind, she thinks the thing is cute.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That look like he's sitting on a white woman or something like that. Sitting on a black woman.
This is from they're trying, I guess this is trolling. I don't know why they're doing it. But that's real. That's real right there. Yeah. That's real. That's a biblical prophecy right there. So
that's hell.
And that's the new Supreme Court justice. And if I could say one more thing, sir.
Please.
And now, okay, rich people, right? And this is hard to understand, but rich people want you, rich black people, they want you to support them because they're black. They're black, and now they're about to be the first black Harvard professor or the first black tenure professor at Princeton or the first black Supreme Court justice. They want to benefit because they're black, and they want you to give them a chance, special treatment because they're black. But when it was their turn to choose someone, they chose somebody white.
Right.
When it was her time to choose who would get half of her money, if you marry a white man, if you divorce him, he gets half of your money because she's the successful one. If you marry a white man, he gets half of your property, half of everything you own. There was a day when she had a choice to choose someone. She didn't choose somebody black. So why should we choose her? This is what you should do if you love Kenyatta Brown. Choose a Supreme Court justice that is the best white man to help you with your life, because that's what she did. Go find a white man that helps you with your life. Find a white man that benefits you.
Right. Find a Kennedy or something.
Find a Kennedy, because that's what she did. She didn't choose a black man. She didn't say, well, I'm going to support a black man, seeing that my people are struggling and I want to give them a benefit and I might need them later. Nah. She chose a white man when it was her turn to choose. Don't choose her. Don't support any black or Hispanic person that marries someone outside of blacks or Hispanics. Don't do it, because they didn't. They didn't. Salaki, sir.
You so right. Give it up. That's so ironic. Like you said, they asking for your support
because she's black.
Right.
Meaning we ain't supporting her because she's some big help to black people. I've never heard of her.
Right.
She ain't. Give me somebody that's a famous black lawyer. She ain't Thurgood Marshall.
Right.
She ain't. It's some black lawyers that has helped black people.
Right.
Right. She ain't even that Crump.
Right.
Crump is a lawyer.
Yeah.
Crump helps black people. Who the hell is she?
Right.
She helped Guantanamo Bay inmates. Well, the Arabs maybe they should support her.
Right.
But what has she done for black men? Nothing. Nothing at all. But so in essence, we would strictly be supporting her because she's black.
Right.
Well, that's not what she did.
It's showing.
Go find a white man that helps you. Go find a white man and support him because he helps brothers get out of jail who have been in there for 45 years.
Yeah.
Because he pressed some bill to put cops in prison when they lie and it causes false imprisonment. Go support a white man that does that. Then you would be just like her.
Yep.
Then you would be like her.
You would be following her footsteps.
You would be following in her footsteps.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep, but what? That's deep. You think about it like that's a whole nother way to think about it, because for sure, in our minds, the fact that she's got a chance at the Supreme Court, we automatically go support her. Like that right there, that was deep, brother. Give it up one more time for that. That was deep.
And they're gonna push on every black internet site, every black Atlanta Black Star, different black news groups. They're gonna push her. Look, let's be proud of her. Be proud. But like the general saying, she didn't choose us when it came time.
We didn't know nothing about her, her struggle for us. And what's deep about what you're saying too is, boy, if we could add that to us as a people, we would fight for the right people. Like that's why we don't have no political ability. We don't have no political ability because we voting for her because they want her. Like Obama got in office because they wanted Obama in office.
There you go. Not
because we knew who this guy was. This is some cat from Chicago. They said he was a community activist.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, because they put him on the stage, now we chasing after him and put him in the White House. But boy, what if we did have some real political savviness and say, well, who is this person? Have they really been down with us? And here's the million dollar thing. Just like a cat trying to go to the NBA, there are thousands of people who's trying to get in the NBA. So all of them is balling as best they can. Boy, what if we had politicians doing the same thing? What if they all was trying to become the new senator in Congress? So all of them is in there helping black. You find senators, brother, in the homeless shelter trying to feed niggas too. Y'all get a picture of this. They'd all be helping us. They'd have to get up there because our mind would be right and we would know who to pick. We don't know who to pick right now. That was a good ass point. That was
no sound correct.
Man. Damn right. So that's it.
We took up. Sorry,
go ahead.
Also, too, sir, if I may, she did get a chance to speak about her father and her life. So, but she introduced it as I love my mother, I love my father. I thank them for being in my life. My mother, the breadwinner of the family, and just and made sure.
Monster getting ready to go up on that court.
That's it,
for her to get before. Sorry, go. Let me. No, that was it. For her to get ready to come before the Congress of the United States. First black woman, world stage, and for her to take a shot at her father at that moment says she hates black men with a blood-curdling hatred. Like what a vile sister that is for her to make that damn statement like that. And okay, I heard a piece of her where she did something too that just infuriated me. She said, you may have heard about my uncle who was in trouble with the law, whom I tried to help to get free from prison. But I also want you to know that I also have uncles that are law enforcement, that are police officers, that are this. In other words, this broad had to apologize to white America that she had an uncle that got caught up in jail. She tried to help as a lawyer. She's a lawyer. As a lawyer, she tried to help him with his case. And eventually, I think she got him out, helping him with his case. And she had to go before Esau and apologize like it was something wrong. When she's a lawyer, that's her job. But the fact that she went, and you heard that part, right, Marat? Yeah, like the fact that she had to go, and the fact that she had to apologize for helping her own uncle who was in jail, and she's a lawyer because he's black. He had to say, I also got cops also, so don't worry.
I don't love these niggas that I gotta help. I don't love them. I also got cops that hate them too, and I got some hatred for them. Just as a guy, I got a good balance. I'd help one, but I got some that hate them too. And hey, I'm like, brother, like once again, Christ sent us into the highways and byways for a damn good reason. Because the quality people of Black America are in the hood. The quality people of Latino America, Native Indian America, they in the hood. They ain't in the Supreme Court. That sister right there is useless to us. But tons and tons of brothers and sisters are, gold to the Lord and to the help that we need. She's going to be a great help to America. You know why? Because she's going to do exactly what Clarence Thomas did. She's going to go up in there, eat pork, get fat, and wear that black robe to hide all that fat on her. And that's all she's going to do for the next 20 years. And she'll have, cocktail parties for friends and family and have influence in political seats. But when it comes to us, that'll be a waste of our time.
If I could, sir, and if you don't know it, look at Justice Sotomayor, who's Puerto Rican Hispanic. Yep. Now, I wonder what's been going on with the Hispanics for the last 6 years. They're being trashed and killed and beat to death, while Judge Sotomayor, who's so Hispanic, sits on the Supreme Court. Did you even remember she was up there while they're killing Mexico and Puerto Rico's being destroyed? And did you even
babies in the cages?
Did you even remember that there's a Hispanic woman on the Supreme Court right now, while Puerto Rico is, being wiped out and destroyed, while that candle factory was destroyed by the hurricane full of Puerto Ricans, while Mexicans are in cages on the border. You didn't even remember that there's a Hispanic on the Supreme Court. Black people, get ready for the same thing. Now you'll have a Black woman on the Supreme Court, and you're going to forget she's even there when they murder us. You're not even going to remember that you push some woman that looks like you, but casts you away for gain. You're not even going to remember she's there.
Brother, that's him. That's wrong. You know what I mean? Because that's go ahead. You gonna say something, Salaka?
Oh, if I could add, sir, if I could just say one last thing. I'm gonna show this too, just to sum up everything that y'all was saying, right? If I could, I got a big screen. This is what it says. I'll make it big screen, sir. It says Jackson tells senators she sees Breyer as a judicial model and would hope to carry on his spirit. This is what she said.
Who's Breyer?
This is the big one right here.
Well, go ahead. You just gonna add something else to it?
Kamala Khan, like she wishes that she can't carry on the oppressor spirit. So everything y'all just said, she summed it right up to say my whole thing on this courtroom is to carry on this person's spirit. You know what I mean? And not to just not to save blacks.
They do what they do for gain. That's why a politician is just useless.
Yeah.
Because really, if you're Black, you have to work on gaining white support.
Right. Because
Black people will support you because you're Black. Yeah. So you don't have to do anything to get Black support. Right. But if you're Black, you got to do something you got to support Justice Breyer and marry a white man and say that, your mother was a breadwinner. You support the police. Your family members are in the police. You have to earn white support if you're Black. So how in the hell can it help us?
Right.
It doesn't help us because we're going to support her because she's Black. So you don't have to do anything. But if she's Black, she has to make sure white men knows, I love the police. I love the white justices. My husband is white. So can white people support me? And it's just a bunch of whores sitting up there in robes. And you're wasting your time with even Karen, who's on the Supreme Court. Who even gives a damn? Who cares? Yeah. Can I show you a sister that is a strong sister, if you don't mind?
Please.
Show Commander General Yohanna what happened in South or Central America this week. Now, if you're in the world and you want to find a woman to vote for, I'll show you one right here, sir, if you don't mind.
Please.
This happened this week. I don't even know where this happened. Maybe one of the people in the chat room can tell us where this happened. But this is a woman who runs an ice cream stand somewhere in one of the Hispanic countries. That's all I know. She runs an ice cream stand. She hasn't been to Harvard. She hasn't been to Yale. She's no one that'll make it on a stamp or on a $20 bill. She runs an ice cream stand in a Hispanic neighborhood. And there was a young sister that came to get some ice cream. But she started to notice a man lingering around the ice cream stand, paying a little too much attention to the young girl getting ice cream. And so she's watching it, and you can see that she's beginning to feel like she has to protect this girl. And then she thinks it and thinks it and thinks it. And you can see her suspicion. And then when she walks away, she sees a car pull up to the ice cream stand with a door opened at the perfect time that the little girl was walking by the door. She saw it and jumped into action and escorted that little girl away from the car. The car noticed it, shut the door, and ran off. She gets her phone, films the car, gets on the phone to call someone for help. If you want to choose someone, choose her.
Yes.
Choose her. That sister has the heart of a lion. Her. She should be praised. Her. Not Sotomayor or Kenesha Brown or Hillary Clinton or who's that, the vice president one?
Harris.
Like not some ambitious whore who would do anything to get a promotion, which is who you follow for some reason if you're a woman. A woman who will do anything. Let me tell you what else they'll do. They will destroy you so that they can be the only black one that works there.
That's right.
They do that as well.
Yep.
When you go support some black person and put them in a job, they're now in a room with white people. And white people go, well, should we hire Jamal? What do you think, Kenyatta? Well, really, Jamal hasn't earned it the way I've earned it. I had to pay my dues to get here. Jamal hasn't paid his dues. So he shouldn't get the seat that sits right next to me. And then the white people go, that's what I was thinking, Kenyatta. I see we made the right choice in choosing you. I see it because she's the one stopping any more black people from getting hired. Her. She's the one in the ears of the white people saying, well, I don't know about him or her. I'm not sure about them. I know because I'm black. So I know that you really shouldn't hire this other black person. And then now you're sitting there worshiping the one black professor, the one black CEO. This is why they're the one. Because white people come to them and ask, should we hire Tamika? And they say no. They say you should not hire Tamika because they want to be the only black one there because that empowers them. They're stopping you from getting a promotion. The black one is stopping you. Now, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I know you do know what I'm talking about. Anyone in academia or that works in some big job, you know exactly what I'm saying because this is what happens. I gotta go. I can't talk about it. This is just, you're gonna live this if you try to achieve. Like if you try to go to college and get a master's degree, you're gonna be like, yeah, there's a black person on the board. They're gonna look out for me. That's the one that is not getting you the promotion. That one. They're making sure you don't get the promotion, sir.
And it's going to help you with your training on hating your brother. Because you're going to know that every time you see one of your brothers or sisters, that they the one that's going to cut you off. But what I wanted to tell you is that what you said, you actually, without saying it, you actually told a clear biblical story about Christ. Mm-hmm. Like you said an exact biblical story about Christ. You got it for me? This is this what y'all want to know, the crabs in the barrel mentality. I'm about to read it for you right now. You want to know exactly what General Muhammad was saying? We're going to read this for him right now, and you're going to see it's exactly what you just described. Go ahead, tell them where you at.
Khan, the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust
No, but stop. Go to where he says, where Caiaphas stood up and he said, you know nothing. Now you get it.
I get it.
You know what I mean? It's right around there
46.
Where he said, you know nothing. For that the nation lose this one man.
They debated what they should do about him.
Right. He said we do nothing. Like what you saying is exactly that. Like she can't let nobody else get on the Supreme Court because she'll lose her power and seat. You know which one I'm talking about? 49. My bad. Oh, I went to 8. My bad.
The book of John, chapter 11, and verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year.
He was the high priest that year. Go ahead.
Khan said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
Like that's crabs in the barrel. That's don't let him up there. Instead, get rid of it. Let's know he gonna take away all our position. Is that part in there in this chapter as well? Or it's coming up to go ahead, keep on going.
Khan, verse 51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for the nation.
Now he prophesying that Christ would die for the nation, but he's saying it to say, let's kill him. Like, let's get rid of him unless he gets on top of, gets above us up in here. And brother, that is why every one of them are useless to us, because they're going to actually hold us back. They're going to stop you from any self-black promotion, because of course, if black people get too black, then white people going to look at her like,
there you go.
What's with all this black racism? Not black justice, black racism, which she's going to have to say, we got to get rid of the bad apple.
There you go.
Like she'll turn on for that same reason. Keep going.
Can you read 48?
Please.
The book of John, chapter 11 and verse 48. If we let him thus alone.
Go above it. One more if you could. Salakia.
John, chapter 11 and verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council.
Like this is what happens when blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians decide to take care of themselves. Decide to do exactly what the slave masters say. Don't he say, stop blaming the white man, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, this, that, and the other. The problem is when you go do that, the Supreme Court judges and everybody else is going to work against you. And you're going to spend 45 years instead in prison for no goddamn reason. Right. You know what I mean? They killing black men on the streets of America while you got a black and a Latino on the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And absolutely no justice going to them. The entire world had to protest for somebody to go to jail for George Floyd. The whole damn world. They was protesting in Australia for somebody to go to jail for George Floyd's death, which was on tape in front of, with eyewitnesses and videotape in the public, and it was still a question of whether or not they actually committed a crime. Like, this is madness, man, what we up under. Okay, they don't even do this in countries where they actually oppressing people. Like countries that they actually
with no freedom
wait a
of
minute,
speech,
wait a minute. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
That was a little bit of my brainwash. I said where they actually oppressing people. Like they not oppressing people here. I'm jammed up too. I'm still detoxing. I had to catch myself. Like the right side of my brain had to catch the left. Like, oh, you wrong. The right side of my brain had to check the left side. Like I actually said in countries where they are oppressing people.
And that's just the difference is in other countries, they stab you and say, I'm stabbing you. In America, they stab you and say, I'm not doing nothing.
Right.
And that's
just freedom.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, this is bad. Come on with it, Doc. That is bad. Go ahead, read. I'm sorry.
Sir. And said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
You see that? That's the don't let him get up here. Like you brought out. Don't let him get up here. He does not deserve it. Go ahead.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
This is the biggest problem. This is why, listen, John Haldeman, part of the Nixon cabinet, said, he clearly said, we started the war on drugs to bust up and destroy all black groups and arrest their leaders. That's what he said. Because for this same reason, because otherwise everybody would listen to us. Do you realize that Christ has given us the truth back by signing that covenant. And because of it, the Lord, being a man that keeps his word, gave us this knowledge back. Do you know if they leave us alone, we will wake up all 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. From here to the very bottom of South America will all be Hebrew Israelites, according to that Bible. According to that Bible, everybody would eventually wake the hell up, even the staunchest enemies of us, just like Paul. Paul was totally against the truth, ready to kill Israelites, held the coats of them that killed Stephen, and he still turned to the Most High. If we were left alone to just teach what we're teaching, however crazy it sounds to those that's in the world, we would change the entire Black, Latino, and Native Indian community. Read on.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
That's why you have to obey the Most High. Because without obeying the Most High, you're going to have to obey a slave master. And that slave master is going to require the blood of your people for you to get anything. Like, they ain't killing us and incarcerating us for no reason. That's part of the deal for those that get on the Supreme Court, or those that become a congressperson, or those that become head of corporation. Part of the deal is we got to destroy your people so that we can make all the money we want to make off of them, and we'll give you a crumb too. We'll give you some honor in our kingdom too. They had so-called Jews helping the Nazis.
Yes.
That's what the whole Schindler's List was about. You know what I mean? That was the whole damn movie, was about how this cat working with the Nazis, but still trying to, help his people a little bit. But meanwhile, he working with the Nazis, getting everybody killed in the gas chambers. Well, guess what? That's us. That's us right here in this empire right now. And Christ spoke about it, and it was so profound because this is the man that led to getting them killed under Pontius Pilate. This same cat right here, with this same mentality, like the Supreme Court judge, led to Christ being put to death. Go ahead, read on a little bit more. Salakia, y'all. Y'all jump into it.
Verse 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that is expedient for us, that one man should die for the people.
It's better a few of y'all go to jail and be killed than the white man turn on all of us.
It's gonna make so much sense to them.
Come,
Just like this made so much sense.
come, like it's worth it for a few of y'all to get some bad treatment, and then white people don't have to be too upset, and I can get on the Supreme Court and get all the ambition that I want. Go ahead, last verse, I think it is.
Sir. That one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this he spake not of himself, but being high priest that year. He prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation.
My brother, they're going to set out to destroy the Lord's nation, and it's going to be just like it was in ancient Egypt. Right. The more they seek to destroy us, the more we will multiply and become greater and better and wiser and stronger and pursue the Most High, man. And it is going to be amazing to see before your eyes. The water. Salakia, yo. Where we going?
I have the video of the sister protecting the young girl.
Please.
The young sister.
Check it out, yo.
I don't think the video has any sound.
God, I don't think so. Look at the predator there. And how horrible is child trafficking now? How horrible is that? Take an innocent child that ain't done nothing to nobody and to put them in a horrible situation and prostitute them, man, for your own gain. You got to have a real level of inhumanity. I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just agreeing. And see how the car's set up? The door is open. Knowing where she came from, she gonna walk back that way. Mm-hmm. So the door is open for her to tackle her in the back, and then drive her in the car sitting waiting. He hop in, pull off. So when people see it, they gone, and got the girl.
Right. And it's something that you need to notice in this video that's very important. You need to notice she ain't got the long nails. She ain't got the long eyelashes. She ain't got the weave all the way down her back.
Right.
She ain't got none of those things. But you know what she do got? Some goddamn courage. Look at this here. Look at that shit. Oh, he was going to snatch her. Woo!
Chilling.
Woo! That was the end of that little girl's life. Run it back one more time, Marah. You ain't got to go all the way back. Just to the part where she started to walk away. If you go right there, it's perfect. Look at that. And listen, and that is a sister there. Like, because she ain't thinking about long nails and eyelashes and all that, she can see the predator standing right next to her trying to get her. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with lashes and nails. I know y'all gonna get on me. General, are you saying it's against the scriptures? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a little less vanity and a little more, thinking and thought about the important things among us. You understand? Because I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a story. Did I send you the story of the sister? Oh, I got to send you the story of the sister that got stripped naked by the cops. Did I show you that one? I'm getting ready to show you this one. Like, this is why, like that right there, that's a superhero.
That's it.
Like, that's the type of sisters that's going to change the world. Them type of sisters right there. Like, that little girl's life. And listen, and what was heavy was she was so good at it, she didn't go and try to warn the child. She let the child remain a child.
That was heavy.
She didn't even go say, listen, little girl, watch out for this. She just let the child remain a child, and she herself walked up. Listen, she could have got snatched up and taken in the car. You know what I'm saying? But she went whoop and scooped that child along. And man, these kids, go ahead, General, please.
And right, the timing. I mean, right at the point of the snatch.
It was dramatic, theatric. She put herself in the thing.
Oh, God.
Look, and it's heavy what you're saying, because, in other words, if it was a chance that this was not an abduction, she sure let it play out to the very end. If it wasn't an abduction, when it was a goddamn abduction, you know what I mean? Which made her step in and snatch that kid to the side. Look at that there. I gotta send you this story because this goes with that. Oh, hang on one second. Oh man, I might need a minute because I got a story.
I could bring them up. Of course,
Please.
Another point that you were bringing up about how Christ was killed by a conspiracy of black leaders who wanted to keep their jobs. That's speaking about the national level. Let me make it real simple for you. Black cops. On the surface, you would think the best thing in the world would be to have more black cops, more representation, right? That makes a lot of sense to everyone. Here's the problem. A black cop has to prove every day that he will not be biased in helping black people. That is his burden. He has to make sure every day that his white fellow Blue Lives Matter cops can trust him and that he'll make sure to be just as hard on a black criminal as he would a white one. Here's the problem, though. There ain't no white ones that he ever sees ever. So then all he does all day is show his fellow police officers that he can be cruel to black people. He has to prove it. A lot of these black cops who beat you up in the past, right? They didn't want to beat you up. They didn't want to do it. But they knew because they were black. And it's listen to this. Because they were black, they had to beat up a black person because they're black.
That's right.
When in your mind, you support more black cops thinking a black cop will show me kindness that a white cop won't. You have a better chance of a white cop feeling like I have to prove I'm not racist. A black cop has to prove he's not. And he's going to knock your jaw off.
Yeah.
Damn right.
To prove that he's not racist. It is crazy as hell, but it is factual. And it's what Christ killed. These black leaders had to prove that they were with the Romans, not with this revolutionary. So they had to murder him. But really, they had to murder him for progress.
Yes.
For the people.
For justice.
For the
to show
people,
that
really.
Everything was
Yeah.
sorry. I mean,
No, for the people. To
yeah.
really, this is how I can really affect change and help the people by murdering this man. Because really, if I keep my job, you know what? then I can really do some good.
Yes.
So it's better that the nation needs me to be president or be congressman or be mayor or be police chief, because if I was police chief, I could really affect change. So when I have to break your jaw as I'm a sergeant, that'll make me police chief. And isn't that where I can really do some good to help the community?
Work from the inside.
Work from Jesus Christ. Oh God. Well, I can make change from the inside. Well, here's how you get on the inside. Break the jaws of black 13-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And then you get on the inside.
That spirit, General, that spirit plays out. Just learning from y'all and just seeing the things in this world plays out everywhere. In court, I've lawyers then told us that when it comes to juries, you think you got a chance because you see so many black people on them juries. Nah, that ain't the case.
Oh no.
According to lawyers, talking to them afterward and seeing why they made this decision, why they did that, you are better off with an educated white man.
Yes, sure.
You understand?
I've heard that. College educated. Because remember, a black juror is sitting next to a white one, and he is trying to impress him in the jury room.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to seem like a nigger in that jury room.
Yeah.
So the white man goes, well, he's surely committing crime and doing these things. And he's going, yeah, that's true. I'm one of the good ones.
Right.
Would you say guilty? Guilty.
My mother.
Bring it out, my
Listen,
go ahead.
In high school, I remember, man, it was a time where I was at the end. I was dealing with a racist Jewish English teacher, right? And I just stopped going to a class, which was my fault. And so she was trying to jam me up, graduation and summer school and all that there. And so, I tried to make a little uproar, talk to the counselors, the principal, and I was told by one of the school staff who was like cool with the students, and I dug him. He was a brother. He said, "Listen, man, get your parents up here. Your parents come up here and say what they want. They got to do it. They cannot stop your parents. They can stop you, but they can't stop your parents." I talked to my mother and pleaded with her, come up to the school, talked to them, and they got on board, got in the spirit. But when we got there, it was a whole
saw that white face.
She saw that white face.
And
they convinced her.
Jesus.
They convinced her that making this decision is going to hurt him. It ain't good to stand up for him and let him go on and this and this. And she came out, and I'm looking, okay, Mom, what happened? They were right, though.
Oh, I know. That's it.
They convinced
me. I'm gonna get you 25 years in jail, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You turn on First 48. They bring the mama in, and they gets that confession.
God,
go ahead, the mama come in.
I forget.
I mean, yo, man, did you do it, boy? I did it, mama. Oh, baby, it's gonna be all right. Meanwhile, they in the back.
They sitting there like writing them. They had the computer typing the whole thing up.
Typing up the
and
warrant.
you doing this shit.
Yeah,
typing this shit. Captain the car. Oh. You got him a camera?
You need a mic.
That's how that cat did with that woman and the 7 sons.
That's right.
That cat, that devil was coming at them boys.
Yes.
And said, listen, went to the mother and said, listen, talk to your sons and stuff like that. She ain't gonna get that confession from them. They died on that. So
give him a hand.
That's right. Damn right.
That's a fact.
Go ahead, you guys.
Talking about in the Apocrypha. That's what Captain Car was speaking about. Go ahead.
The woman who had 7 sons.
Damn right.
Died.
You die?
If I could, sir, I got a story to tell y'all about me and my slavery. I told General Mayaka about it. I told Officer Murat and Officer Dan-YAHANNA. Recently, I had a Pepsi vendor come in here and make a racial slur to me.
Dang.
You know what I mean? I went, I came back from my lunch. I said, man, I got about to go on my lunch, but I'll take you. He was like, well, I know how y'all feel about y'all Popeyes. I'm like, oh. I was like, okay, Esau. Went to the supervisor above me, went to his supervisor. Eventually, you know what I mean? I had to go above my supervisor's head to the district manager, was his sister. Gave me full authority. I banned the devil from the store. I've had brothers and sisters come up to me and like, why you ban Henry? You know you like that Popeye.
Oh!
Like that's hell. That make you want to really shank one of them. Don't nobody do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do nothing. I'm not advocating any violence here.
There you go.
Just saying you can express how you feel. You can express yourself here, after here, you have to adhere to the rules of society.
Shalom. There you go.
Don't nobody go do nothing you ain't gonna do. But my God, like you working with this cat every day, and you get rid of this Edomite who's saying racial slurs to you, and this clown that you working with every day come back and chastise you. He come at you.
If I could, sir.
Clowns,
brothers and sisters.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that show you, brother, that this fight, even though this is the most noble fight in the world, okay, and for those that like to fight, we love it. You know what I mean? We truly love it. But boy, you are in a real fight because our people are so destroyed.
Yeah, man.
You in a real fight. Because of how destroyed our people are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once again, we got to relearn how to love each other, man, and love each other without having to love the other nations as well. Like that is where we at. But now let me show you where it can go. Did you get the story? Please read this. This is a story right here. I watched this story out. I mean, I read this story, and I'm telling you right now, this story right here is bad. I watched this. I read this story out, and I could not believe it. My mouth was hanging open, like who gives a damn who's on the Supreme Court? I want to know who runs the goddamn block.
That's it.
Who runs the damn neighborhood? Like that's who we need. We need brothers who are going to run these neighborhoods and make sure these people get fed and are safe and secure, and ain't no drugs running through, and ain't nobody turning against them and using them to destroy them. And brother, we'll come up out the ground overnight. The same way you watch them bomb Ukraine into the Stone Age in 30 days, the Most High will raise up blacks, Latino, and Native Indians out of the ground in less than 30 days if we turn back to him. You understand? That's what he'll do. You read this heavy story. Generals, y'all check this out. Captains, y'all check this out. This is a very, very disturbing story. Go ahead.
Khan. Child Q is what happens when black girls are robbed of their youth. It says this week report.
They got, if I could just explain, they got a category for young women, young teenage girls who lose their way and lose their ambition. They call them Child Q. And they got a new category for them because there's so many of these young sisters who's being molested and being violated that they hit their teenage years, get violated, and then they stop living. They just stop. They don't go to college no more. They don't finish high school. They barely get a job. That's the person the brothers and sisters you see years and years later, that they bitter, they angry, they building broken families. This is the Child Q. Now you about to see some of how these Child Qs come together. And let me tell you something. Only the Israelite School of UPK is equipped to save these young girls again. We the only ones equipped to do it because nobody cares. I mean, nobody gives a damn about us. Go ahead, because I keep cutting in on it. Go ahead.
Khan, this week, a report published by the Hackney Council revealed that in 2020, a 15-year-old black girl at a Hackney secondary school was strip searched while on her period.
15 years old. Go ahead, give him some more.
Khan. Over unfounded suspicions, she was in possession of cannabis.
They said she seemed like she got weed on her. Let's go ahead and strip search her. 15 years old. Underage. Go ahead.
Khan. Jesus. The young girl was made to bend over naked, spread her legs, and use her hands to spread her buttocks while coughing.
Where was
like jail? This is in school. It's in middle school. She's 15 years old. She's in middle school, 15 years old, and these bastards strip searched her, made her bend over and use her hands to spread her cheeks like she was in jail. These were some perverted, disgusting damn Edomite cops. Go ahead, Otto. Read on.
Khan.
Like this is unholy. Go ahead.
Khan. This was done on the basis she smelt of cannabis. Khan. It says the young girl's mother was not notified by the school in advance and was informed of the incident by her daughter.
They didn't even tell her, call her, nothing after the incident.
They put her clothes back on her and sent her the hell back out the door like nothing never happened. You telling me we shouldn't run away from this beast, man? We should not run away from him, man. Go ahead,
Comic-Con. 3 Metropolitan Police officers are under investigation as a result.
Once again, didn't I say about these stories? It burned me up. It's always why they ain't arrested? Why they ain't charged? Under investigation. They supposed to be locked up right now. Once again, of course, why would I ever expect to be any justice in here? 15 years old, like this is bad. Go ahead.
Khan and Wakan are under investigation as a result, and the report has stated categorically that the search was insufficiently attuned to her best interest or right to privacy.
Like, you see how they word it? That's so disgusting. It was insufficiently attuned to her right to privacy and her best interest. Insufficiently attuned. It was a fucking violation by some disgusting bastards, man. That's what the hell it was, man. You understand? And let me tell you something, man. This nation, black people, Latino, the Native Indian people, you better start having supreme empathy for your people. That is my daughter that just got violated on this damn news report. You understand? And you had better have some goddamn empathy for you and your people, because, brother, this is unacceptable. This is totally unacceptable that this happens to one of our daughters out. And this, let me tell you something, Mom. Like, this is why we got to call on the Most High. Like, we got to, don't even ask me about praying to the Most. I want to provoke the Most High. I want to aggravate the Most High on the throne. I want to aggravate him that he come down and give these bastards what they deserve for this type of evil. Like, they got no sense of, we mistreated black people for 400 years. Let's be careful here, okay? That's supposed to be in their training manual. It's supposed to be part of their academy. They're supposed to be trained. You got to deal with certain. Don't they have liaison officers for different ethnic groups? The liaison officer for blacks and Latinos and Native Indians have to say, look, we have a long history of abusing these people. So you have to be extra, extra careful not to trample on their rights. But of course, not in this place, not here. And that's why what's happening over there in Ukraine, listen, I know I sound a little like a goddamn Putin supporter. I do not support goddamn Putin. Right. The hell with that Edomite up there. I don't even know who the hell he is. Some old Russian. I don't know what the hell he is. But the reason that I sound that way is because I'm thirsty for the justice of the Most High to the point of madness, damn near, when I read up this right here. Read on out, please. This right here, this is too much. Go ahead, Al.
Khan. Details of this case are disturbing and horrific. While global conversations were sparked the same year following the brutal murder of George Floyd by a police officer.
Like, can I please for a second, like, they know what's going on. Like, they understand this George Floyd is supposed to make us like chill. That's what she's saying. She's saying, what happened with George Floyd is supposed to make us kind of like, let's be cool. But of course, they never learn. They will never get this. And once again, you knew coming in the truth, or you learned it, or you from some other group or religion, and you don't like the Bible because you don't understand why God had to kill them Egyptians like he did. Now you understand why. Yeah. Like I totally like drowning that Egyptian army must have been, them Israelites must have been on the other side of the Red Sea saying, well, thank the Lord. It's long overdue that these bastards get what the hell they deserve. Because, brother, when they go and kill, oh, trust me, it's coming. You white boys is going to war. You better get ready. Supersonic missiles and chemical warfare and all this old talk. You going to die across the waters of this empire and around the world because you in the you talking about the coming Third World War. You in the Third World War. And here's the part that y'all ain't really picking up on out there yet, is that this war this time will not be overseas. You won't be sitting in Denny's having a pancake in your uniform and then getting on the plane and flying to the other side of the world to get into the action. The action is coming to you. Yeah. That's where the action will be at, here and there. It won't be no going home, because home will be messed up like over there. And brother, it would be right for this madness and injustice that they bring forth. They could do whatever they want. Like, do you see what they doing to Russia in this? I'm diverting for a second, but I'm coming right back. Do you see what they doing to Russia in the media, with weapons, with refugees, with food? Like 10 million Ukrainians in 30 days moved outside of a country in 30 days, 10 million. And brother, they fed and clothed and housed every last one of them. Okay? They are supplying those Ukrainians with millions and millions of dollars of weapons to fight the Russian Empire. They're shutting down the economics of the entire Russian Empire around the world. They are confiscating billionaires' yachts from around the world. You know the power that America has, man. You know the power and ability that they have. They don't have to treat us like this. And they don't have to allow their people to treat us like this. They have the power to move the entire country in a direction to stop this kind of madness, man. But it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them. And it is why you should do the foolish thing. You should be a fool. You should instead, you should pray to a God you never saw before.
That's right.
Because it's better than listening to them. It's better than putting them on the Supreme Court. It's better than following them. It's better you pray to thin air than put your trust that they will fix your life or give you righteous judgment. It's better you open a book that's 5,000 years old called the Bible and believe in that God than listen to them. You got the nerve to say something because we say the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Go ahead, you die. Damn right. Damn right. Finish that article out. Y'all, Salaki, y'all want to jump in? I mean, argue it up. Go ahead.
Comic-Con. This was in the UK too, sir.
This was in the UK.
Well, I can prove you more right if you would like.
Please,
There was a doctor named Dr. Nasser.
Well,
He was an Olympic doctor, sir.
Oh.
And you know what he would do to girls who were going to the Olympics? He would give them medical procedures that were not needed.
Yeah.
For nothing, and tell them that I have to check your vagina for this. I have to check your vagina for this. But these procedures were unwarranted. And so much so that a lot of times the parent was in the room while he was molesting their children, but the parents didn't know because they thought this was a medical procedure. Come to find out later, the little girl felt so uncomfortable that they began to talk to these girls and then to investigate why he had to check their hymen, why he had to give them this procedure. Come to find out they didn't need the procedure at all, and he was molesting them and no one knew. If a cop pulls you over and thinks he smells weed on you and makes your little girl open up her behind and bend over, and there was no reason for him to do it, then that's sexual assault.
Yes.
Nassib is in jail right now for doing that. Let me make it worse for you. If you're a black man standing on the street corner and the cop digs in and grabs your penis to see if you're holding drugs next to your thigh, that's sexual assault as well.
Damn right.
You were sexually assaulted by a cop because there was no reason for him to search you. But he said, I'm searching you. And of course, he has to check to make sure that you're not holding crack next to your inner thigh, next to your penis. He has to squeeze it there, squeeze between your legs. Later, guess what? He didn't have probable cause to search you. Dr. Nasser is in jail for like 100 years for doing the exact same thing to kids that matter. To kids who are actually counted as humans. Salaki, sir.
Like insane. Insane. Is there more to that story?
That's pretty much it.
I mean, that is insane. damn sane. And he molested hundreds of girls.
Yeah.
That piece of garbage right there.
And
Listen,
so the
Ed
same.
was arrogant when they was arrested, when they were locking him up. He was arrogant, like he shouldn't get all this time. You
Because
understand?
this is a medical procedure.
Right.
It's like the cops. It's like on the surface, well, I am the gynecologist.
Right.
It's my job to go in between their legs and to check their vagina. But then when they say, well, why'd you do it? There was no reason to check. This wasn't their regular gynecological exam. He just called them in and said, I got to check your vagina this week. They do it. Why? Because he had the job of someone that you trust. He held the position of an authority that kids trust, like a cop. He's in jail, and these bastards, nothing will happen to them.
Yeah.
I don't have the prophet to say that, right? I'm going to just make logical sense. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to any one of them because everyone will just say it's a hard job and it's a very difficult job to have. I don't think it's harder than a gynecologist. I think you need about 13 years of college to be a gynecologist. I think to be a cop, you need to just be cruel. So I think it's a lot easier job to be a cop. But Nasser is in jail for about 100 years, and these cops will be under investigation until we all forget about it.
And that's why, damn right. And that's why it is, okay, one of the vilest things, when I turn on the TV set, and one of the vilest things that I hear on that TV set is when they say, well, people need to follow the law. People need to obey the law. Like, if you follow what the procedures of the officer says, then you won't have no problem. Like, it makes me want to vomit. Because, brother, that law is what they're using to violate the Lord's chosen people every day in this empire. And, brother, what they did to that sister right there, 15 years old. And remember now, and you read down in the article, it says she becomes a child Q. Because after that, of course, she don't want to go to school no more. She can't think straight. She can't get it out her mind. Her mother says whenever she goes upstairs to look for her, the girl is in the bathtub all the time, trying to wash it off her. All the time she's in the bath, she got to tell her, come out of the tub. She's a child Q. She just stays in her room. She just lives on the internet. She just tuned out society because of that, because two white bastards wanted a goddamn thrill and had the law to use against her to abuse this poor child. You understand? When they knew good and well, if they thought the child had weed, they could have did a pat-down search and they could have arrested her. They could have did 1,000 things. They could have called her mother. They could have did it, and she's a child. They could have did all of that, but instead, not only did they not call her mother, they strip searched and did all that they did, and then turned around and never said nothing to her mother. Hoped that she would just go home and that would just be the end of it, and she, tell her friends, that the cops did this and this and that, because they don't have no sense of the cruelty that they have for you. And brother, I see it every day when I turn on that Ukraine, those Ukraine reports. Like when I turn on that Ukraine news, that CNN and all that, I see empathy from white people that I didn't even know they had. It was like, I didn't know they had this kind of empathy for anything. Not even their dog. They had this much empathy for. But boy, they on that TV like, look at the suffering. Look at they bombing the hospitals. Look at the babies being killed. Look at this and look at that. And brother, they pouring out. They said they raised like $60 million in donations in the last 2 weeks for the people of Ukraine. Like the empathy for and not for yourselves. And they are full of empathy for themselves and none for you. Like we in a backwards ass world. And it's time for you to wake up, man, and come back to the King Yahushua and begin to start to look at your identity, man. Salakia. Damn right. Damn right. So where else we going, you died?
Okay.
Y'all have anything particular?
If I could,
please.
It's terrible.
Oh boy. U.S.
grants Ukrainians entry at Mexico border. If you want to look up a story to make you more mad, if you ain't mad enough already,
oh my,
then you can go ahead and check out this one. This is what happened 2 days ago.
And if I
please, sir,
before you even read it,
I'm gonna send it to the
real
brother
quick. Like they don't. that shows you how little they care about your life. They don't even try to hide the fact that they trying to kill you at the border. Mad as hell on horses. You understand? Children dying in the desert, coming across, putting your babies in cages. But the Ukrainians come and they open arms. They don't even care if you see the hypocrisy. You see the hypocrisy, they could care less that you see the hypocrisy. They letting you know who they're for, and you are a fool for thinking that you're supposed to be the same with them. Salaki.
If I could, what you just said is what happened when I saw it. I'm watching with my rib where they say, well, they're going to change the law that stops people from coming on the Mexico border to allow all these people in, and they're getting sanctuary in San Diego. I said, y'all see? I remember thinking like, they just gonna put this on TV?
Yes.
It was like, they're gonna just put this on TV, that they're gonna open the gates of the southern border and let them all in and pass and get rid of the law that says you can't, and they're in San Diego now. I remember thinking the hypocrisy is like it makes your mind go off. Good. Like it does something I couldn't believe that it would. I thought they wouldn't. You would think they wouldn't just put it on TV. Yeah. If they were going to do it, they'd keep it quiet. Right. I just looked it up on YouTube, and they're just gonna let them in, and that's that in Shalom.
They'll move mountains for that. You know, change laws.
It was like it was stunning. Still, I don't know how I'm still stunned, but I'm still stunned.
Like, it's amazing what you're saying. And once you was gonna say something?
If I can, last week the president of Ukraine made a statement in one of his hideouts. He said, what he said? He said we must prevent every single aggressor who seeks to subjugate other nations. And he was on a big screen before the Senate. They clapped for him. And I said, what? You know, ain't this what we crying and dying for 40 years? But it's, they don't even see us.
No.
We the hidden ones, man. It's ridiculous.
Like we don't exist. Yeah. Go ahead, you guys. It's a lot here. I even trying to get
good,
in for a minute.
They can do that. But we can't go through the Del Rio, Texas to go feed our brothers and sisters. Oh, my God. We get turned away.
Your kid's going to end up in a cage. That's for damn sure.
Right.
Right. I mean, you're going to be shot by some border patrol agent or some old, white supremacist patrolling the damn thing. He's going to dump the water that you have to survive on out in the sand and shoot you dead right there. And the Ukrainians are here, and they just removed the laws that say you can't be here because those laws are for Mexicans and South and Central Americans, not for good white Europeans. Okay. It's right here. They got the story if you want. God.
If I may, so what y'all saying is so heavy. If I can add, so like that just goes to show you that our God, like the God you was boasting up in the Bible, like he real. It's like you listening to it, like we see the hypocrisy. It's like when the Lord comes to destroy our oppressor, it's like he gonna be in court. And Peter's case, he said, well, God, I didn't know. He said, well, didn't you? It's like he's running down everything back on his head. It's like you killed us for being in Mexico, but you went to Mexico. And then it's like the prosecutor's like, but you did this. Right. Did this. And did this. He just added and said, that's why you know our president gonna be destroyed. And our God is real. So like,
if I could say one last thing, if you didn't mind, sir. And so as far as the Ukrainians that are seeking refuge in America, the Ukrainians aren't sending us their best people. They're sending us rapists and child molesters. They're sending us the worst people in the Ukraine. That's who's coming over here. The bad, what's the word in Russian for a criminal? I don't know. They're sending the Ukrainian criminals here. And they're terrible people. And the Ukrainians are sending them to America to really ruin our country. And they're Nazis. And they're coming through that southern border. We better tighten up that southern border. We better get down there because the Ukrainians are sending rapists and child molesters here to America. And we need to shore up our southern borders and protect our borders. You know what we need is a wall, GEN.YAHANNA.
That's it.
That's
what we need. A wall.
We need a goddamn wall to keep the Ukrainians out of America and make America great again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Man, go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing that they say. They sending us super predators. So that's what they
That's
sending
what they're
us.
doing.
That's right.
They're not sending their best people.
Right.
They sending the rapists over here.
Right. They're criminals.
They're criminals. They're rapists.
Right. They're Nazis.
They're Nazis.
Yeah.
That's who's coming over here.
God.
We got a story if you want. Go ahead, Mirage.
Like I said, they always get away. They always get away.
Always get away. You know, man.
We need to be harder on crime. We need to be tougher on these criminals coming across from the Ukraine over here to America. Man.
And you remember Poland just said out their mouth, we every Ukrainians, we let them in and they're good people, and we do this, but Muslims not the one. It was they not one.
He said
America
not
doing
one.
the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And when they say Muslim,
They mean Arabs. Yeah. They mean black. You're not white. That's what Muslim means. Muslim means not white. You play the video for Commander GEN.YAHANNA, please.
Insane. It's so adorable.
The one I sent Officer Yediah. It's a YouTube video.
Carl, I'm saying it right now.
Crazy. 1040, Salaki. Get him.
They gonna come over here and steal all the jobs.
What they're gonna do?
That's exactly
They're
what
gonna come over here and be Ukrainian mobsters like they've been doing down there in Bensonhurst and Howard Beach, Brooklyn. They down there, halfway rivaling the Italian mob.
And prostitutes, more prostitution than you could possibly imagine.
Good night. Yeah, man. Gun running. That old Odessa. They had a whole area in Brooklyn called Little Odessa.
That's it.
With every Ukrainian gangster and criminal and drug dealer and gun runner you ever saw. Brooklyn. They made a whole movie about it. Nicolas Cage made a movie about it.
Brooklyn and Staten.
Called Little Odessa. It's a lot.
I was at Brooklyn and Staten Island are about to be infested.
Yes.
With Ukrainians.
That's right.
They might just storm the Capitol.
Oh,
you're right. They might join that crew.
Join them.
Yeah.
You have it yet? Go ahead, please.
Border with Mexico seeking asylum on Wednesday, lining up at the international checkpoint in Tijuana.
We just try to understand where our new home will be. We have to rebuild our life from bottom to from very beginning, And it's extremely. I mean, my sorry, I'm even shaking when I talk about this.
There were also some Ukrainian U.S. citizens like Marina Sokolovska, who was at the border camp trying to help her cousin and baby nephew.
I want to rescue my, loved one and bring it to California because she don't have anyone. The parents without connection for the last 6 days. We don't know if they're still alive or not.
According to a former U.S. border official who was briefed on the matter, U.S. authorities were granting 1-year temporary humanitarian parole to Ukrainians. The U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and the Department of Homeland Security have not replied to requests for comment. But several Ukrainians told Reuters that they had been granted a year's stay in the U.S. The U.S.-Mexico border has been closed to most asylum seekers under a pandemic-era policy known as Title 42. However, a number of Ukrainians have described moving to the front of a line of migrants waiting to make their claims to border officials. Reuters saw more than 24 Ukrainians enter the United States earlier this week, while others seeking asylum, including Mexicans, Colombians, and Russians, were being turned away at the border.
It don't get no more real than that. There's nothing you can say. And once again, if I could add one point, this is why, once again, the Most High is smarter than you. That's why we should love the Mexicans. We should love the Mexicans. That's why we failed the Mexicans when they were putting our brothers and sisters' children in them cages. We failed them, man. Right. We failed them time and time again. We should, you gangbangers. You gangbangers need to stop killing each other, man.
That's right. Black
and Latinos, you need to stop hating each other, man. Fighting over colors and different nonsense instead of coming together, man, and breaking up your territories like you should. And empowering them territories. Instead, you sitting around fighting over scraps while the Ukrainians walk across the border
and take their position in this empire, man. And they'll be your landlord 3 years from now.
Oh, yeah.
3 years from now, your rent will be $1,500, $1,600, $1,800, and they'll be the damn landlord. Because they'll get loans from mobsters and gangsters, and before you know it, they'll have the prospering businesses and looked at with dignity and self-respect, while you scrap and fight and kill and murder and wipe out every good soldier on both sides of the Black and Latino community, man. The hell you don't wake up and see what the hell is happening to us, or you'll stay in that situation until none of us are left. Why don't you wake up, man, and all of us come together and bring this body together, man? You got to be smarter than that, man. You got to be smarter than that. Salam. Go ahead. Where we at?
Khan. Russia demands Mariupol lay down arms, but Ukraine says no. Russia demanded that the Ukrainians in the besieged city of Mariupol lay down their arms Monday in exchange for safe passage out of town, but Ukraine rejected the offer.
Brother, well, they better get ready, because this is the third world's war. We fully in it now. Everybody flipping sides and all of that. And Putin ain't ready to give up, that territory, then that's on them. Because he bombing the place into the Stone Age. Don't believe the hype. They showing you that they killing soldiers and all that. Them Russians got the same weapons America has. And they committing horror down there in Ukraine. They're giving them Ukrainian Nazis every bit of what they asking for.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And if that Lewinsky had any good sense, he'd throw in the towel and give that place back up to the slave master, his slave master, which is Putin. That's what he would do. But if not, hey, that's on him. You know what I mean? They both white people killing white people. Scripture say a house divided against itself cannot stand. So we ain't got no stake in the game on each side. Y'all want to get in?
No, I think that we can move on, sir. All right. Go ahead, up next.
Yeah. It says Ukraine war is backdrop and U.S. push for hypersonic weapons.
Once again, another excuse, since they found out Russia got hypersonic weapons. Now they can turn around now and they can have hypersonic weapons. So now they're going to create these same weapons. Once again, they just going to arm up more and more and more and more for the final conflict that's going to take place in this earth, which is going to be an amazing, amazing feat. Oh, and Muhammad, you was telling me about the Star Wars defense thing.
Jesus
How could we forget?
They
spent billions on that during the time of Reagan, man. Muhammad pulled up the story. It's crazy. Wait till you hear this.
I'll try to. If you want the video, just break it down.
No, go ahead and pull it up if you want. Like or you could either one, whatever you decide. But what I was going to just say is this, man. And with Black people, Latino people, Native Indian people, you got to realize you are not living in the real world. Like whoever made that movie, The Matrix, I heard that was a Black woman. Is that true? Brother, that sister that wrote that movie and created that movie, The Matrix, like that sister had it right. Like you are not living in the real world, Black people, Latino people, Native. You in a fantasy world with your long fingernails and eyelashes and your homosexuals with pink hair and all of this nonsense y'all running around doing that is against the Most High. You're not living in the real world, man. The real world is very different than the one you are living in. And it's time for you to come out the matrix, as they say, and come into the real world and get ready to be a part of the real world and get ready to face the hardships of real life so that you can do something to save the lives of your people. And once again, that's why you can't be a selfish pig, because selfishness will make you never care for anybody but yourself. And when the Lord requires that you care less for yourself than for your brothers so that he can utilize you to fix this nation, man, to fix the old people. Here's the time that we in. You should wake the hell up, man. So go ahead, General, whenever you're ready.
I sent the video. You can start. This whole thing is good for the Third World War. I realize that. But if you want to just shut it for time, I would go around 1 minute and 16 seconds into it.
Can you get that? You die? Most high credit.
Yeah. Okay, this is what's his name? You might need the beginning of it. You want? Can we give 2 minutes to it, 3 minutes to it, or no, sir?
Go ahead, whatever you need.
Okay, you might.
We got,
okay,
we got 11 on the clock.
Oh shit! Go ahead. Start. This cat is in charge of some group that's in charge of nuclear weapons.
Okay.
Right? The world's. He's supposed to get the whole world to, in essence, have less nuclear weapons.
Right.
Make sure nobody loses them. Make sure they have safeguards so that the weapons aren't dangerous. That's his job. The Nuclear Commission. That's his name, Munez. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Because of Putin's rather reckless language
Give me 30 seconds
in terms of
He'll say
possibly
third
using nuclear.
Turn us up a little bit.
Is reliving the childhood concerns about nuclear war. This has all come about.
Right there.
The worries we have now,
No,
right?
well, first of all, we don't promote nuclear threats. We try to remove them.
Oh, I understand.
But you're absolutely right. There's no doubt that a lot of people. I just saw an article. GEN.YAHANNA is reliving the childhood concerns about nuclear war. This has all come about because of Putin's rather reckless language in terms of possibly using nuclear weapons. It's the most. We try to remove them.
Oh, I understand.
But you're absolutely right. There's no doubt that a lot of people. I just saw an article. GEN.YAHANNA is reliving.
How are you, sir? Great to see you again. Yes. All right. Well, I wanted you here because you know all things nuclear. And I've been hearing that word a lot more than I've heard it, I don't know, maybe ever. I mean, I was too young to remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, but I feel like that's the last time we all in America had this much anxiety about nuclear war. We keep hearing about this, so I thought you're the perfect guy to talk about this. Maybe you'll allay our fears, or maybe we'll all shit our pants and jump out the window after we talk. But you're head of something called the Nuclear Threat Initiative. What is that? Are they helping? This is about the worries we have now,
No,
right?
well, first of all, we don't promote nuclear threats. We try to remove them.
Oh, I understand.
But you're absolutely right. There's no doubt that a lot of people. I just saw an article. GEN.YAHANNA is reliving the childhood concerns about nuclear war. This has all come about because of.
Okay, let me tell you something, Mark. This is the difference between us and them. Like black people, Latino people, they not even worrying about nuclear war because you've been in the ghetto. You've been already in the nuclear holocaust. Every time it rains, it look like, nuclear ash coming down on you in the hood. So you already been through it. But you heard what he said, that this is anxiety that they feel. And it is right they feel this anxiety because this is the judgment for what they've done coming back to them. So that's it. That's all I want to say on that.
Okay.
All right. Shalom, warrior. All right, get in there and sing. Yeah, please go back to the tape. Shalom.
Of Putin's rather reckless language in terms of possibly using nuclear weapons. It's the most dangerous period.
And what is your organization doing about it? That's what we're worried about.
Well, so we have been working, for example, we had a success in January that was rapidly overturned. We had a success when Putin, along with Biden and the leaders of China, the UK, and France, signed a joint statement, first time, that nuclear war cannot be won and should not be fought. Well, 2 months later, Putin says, hey, if things aren't going well, maybe I'm going to use a nuclear weapon. They have a doctrine called escalate to de-escalate. And what it means is that if things aren't going well, they might use what they call a small nuclear weapon, 5 kilotons.
Just brought out a good point. That's Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Gog and Magog being turned back around. And on top of that, they saying they might use a small, they going to nuclear war. Just to give them a little here. We ain't gonna nuke the world.
No.
We're just gonna nuke their little corner. Like that's gonna make them say, okay, cool. Let's stop all of that. Listen, and if I could, Lewinsky, whatever his name is, the so-called Judas over there in Ukraine running it. He turned around and said, if Putin don't stop, it could mean the Third World War. He might have nukes already. We don't know, because why is he saying that? Because they got 3 nuclear power plants. They could have been building nukes under his nose the whole damn time. And that might be why he holding out. Because they might deliver the little briefcase to give the little nuclear bomb. Just a little something. Like they once again, it's gonna get comical after a while, because you're gonna see how, like the Lord said in the Psalm, he said, I shall have them in derision. And that's exactly what you see it now. They all in derision. One minute the Saudis with them, the next minute they want to go to China. One minute they hating Venezuela, the next minute they begging Venezuela for oil. One minute they down with the Ukraine, the next minute they don't want to send no planes over there. Like they all in derision right now, and that's the Most High doing it, and it's going to get ridiculous after a while. And it is a glorious thing for judgment in the earth. Lord knows that the 12 tribes of the children of Israel that we read about in the Bible fully got the brunt of God's judgment, to the point where we were wiped out as a people and became completely subject to every whim and evil device of the other nations that they wanted. And guess what? It's also right, according to the Bible, according to God's word, that right judgment come down on all the empires of this world, and they be put to exactly what the Lord said when he said that he would give them the cup and that they shall drink it, and that cup is filled with abominations, man. They're going to drink them abominations, just like that scripture says, and it is right according to the law. So lock it. Let's go do it. Please.
Oklahoma City was 2 tons, for example, to give you a scale.
Was not nuclear.
And it was not nuclear, and no radioactivity
Right.
as well.
That's what we worry about, the radioactivity.
So this is
Yes.
not, well, and the blast as well. I mean, depends where it lands.
Well, yes,
But,
you wouldn't want to be in the blast.
Like he's saying, listen, even if a small nuke go off, don't stress it. We had Oklahoma City, that was 2 tons. But Bill Maher catching him like, but that wasn't a nuclear bomb. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? What about the radiation fallout? What about all that? Like, he trying to prepare them for where this thing is going. So, Lakia, go ahead, up.
Yes, but the vast majority of the world would not be in the blast, but we
Correct.
would worry about
We would,
radioactive fallout.
suffer from
Goes
that.
all around the world.
Exactly. And so the idea is that they might use one if things are going badly. I might note things are going badly. And the idea is that the enemy would back off. But the reality is, we think that there's at least as good a probability that it would escalate to a full-fledged nuclear war.
I tell you, what I worry about even before this is the, there are lost nuclear weapons. We don't know where they all are. There was a movie, I remember it, I think it was with John Travolta, called Broken Arrow. You ever see that movie?
Correct. Right.
The line that I remember that was so chilling was that the guy says, I don't know what's scarier, the fact that there are lost nuclear weapons, or that there are so many, we have a term for it. That's what a broken arrow is. Since 1950, I think there's like 32. Right. 6 of them we've never recovered. One fell off a aircraft carrier into the bottom of the ocean. It's there now. Somebody has the ones we haven't found.
Well, hopefully it's still sitting at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, that one may be.
That one. But others, unfortunately, American weapons fell in North Carolina, for example.
How do you lose a nuke?
It's
really, that's a hard, it's big.
It's considered very poor military practice. But the biggest story there really is when the Soviet Union fell apart. There was really no inventory of weapons, but even more so of the material, the uranium and plutonium, to make weapons, because they never bothered to count. So we went in, the United States and other countries, we went in hard. The so-called non-Lugar program in Russia and Ukraine and Belarus and Kazakhstan to try to nail down all of those materials, because the last thing we want is getting into the hands of a terrorist.
Right. Well, they probably use nails. That's my issue, is that, when I see how incompetent this Russian military is, it makes me worry. It makes me almost
very refreshing to hear Bill Maher fear. Like he's just scared to death. Well, that's what we concerned with. Well, what happened to them? Well, how did they get lost? Like that is he's scared to death. This war with Russia and Ukraine is making them say to themselves, put this on nuclear. Because of course, they're hearing the prophets of God say it's gonna go nuclear. So they got a good reason to be nervous. Okay. And that's exactly, and it's in it. I mean, it's in it. I've never heard him sound so scared. You understand? He's usually pretty bold with, very serious topics. Go ahead,
If I could, sir, like when you watch the news, politicians, like you said, is very scared. And they do not like how Biden is dealing with Russia. Like they're afraid because they see a glimpse of their having.
Listen, you so right. A glimpse. They see they having on CNN looking like the ghetto. Okay. Like them bombed out buildings they showing on CNN. I grew up with those all my life. That was the South Bronx. That was all my life. I grew up with them buildings. And they seeing that. Listen, somebody pull up. Oh, maybe not tonight, but
it's about over.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go. Let's go back to the tape. I don't want to
if I could, maybe faster, if I could just explain what's about to happen.
Go ahead.
Everyone that watches Commanding General Yahanna for any amount of time, you know about the prophecy that the UPK has been making for years about the Star Wars defense program. Everyone heard of that, right? Well, back in the 80s, Ronald Reagan put a network of satellites all over the planet, saying that this network of satellites was there to fight the possibility of a Russian nuclear attack. Everyone heard of that, right? The UPK said that was not the reason that they put those satellites in the sky. The UPK said that those missiles and those lasers being shot out of satellites in the sky were our oppressors' attempt to fight Christ.
That's right.
Everyone has heard us say that before, right? But the whole world says that these lasers on these satellites were to stop a Russian nuclear attack. We'll see what he says now. Go ahead, Marat.
You still got it at the same place? Yes, sir. Come on, let's play it.
nostalgic for the days when we thought we could shoot down. Remember Star Wars? I mean, it was, what was the official SDI?
Yes, SDI.
Under Reagan, but they called it Star Wars. But the idea was,
right,
we don't have to lock them down anywhere, because if they come over, we can shoot them down. Now that never happened, and it never could.
That's a myth. I mean, we could perhaps shut down, like
but Israel
one
shoots down
missile,
conventional missiles.
Yeah, those are much shorter range.
I understand, but the technology exists to intercept something. No.
Well, the Patriot defense,
right? But we can't shoot it.
But we could probably shoot one down, maybe from Iran or from North Korea. But if we have hundreds of Russian missiles coming in, intercontinental, there is frankly no chance to defeat that. So it's all deterrence. That would be a suicidal move, because we would do the same to them.
Come on out. I mean, since the days of Ronald Reagan, they had the SALT II treaties, where they said that they was going to dismantle nuclear weapons because, of course, they said Ronald Reagan had set up what was known as SDI, the Star Wars Defense Initiative, where he sent particle weapon beams and God knows what he said he had up into space that made everybody know that if you fired a nuclear weapon, these weapons in space would shoot down and bomb your nuclear weapons. Now, the nuclear commissioner just said it was a goddamn myth. That if they shot them damn missiles, they might be able to stop one missile. Would show you, and let me tell you, everybody was like, thought during that Reagan, everybody was like, oh, they got SDI.
No more worries.
Ain't no more nuclear worries. They might as well dismantle. They started the START II treaty was to do the dismantling of the weapons. So I didn't mean to cut you off,
You said, however,
God,
this had nothing to do with the Russians. God. This was not about the Russians. These weapons are in space to fight the coming of Christ. That our oppressor in America knows that Christ is coming back, and he put these satellites in space to fight Christ. Everyone on the planet said these were to fight a Russian nuclear attack. But the prophets of God knew it was a lie again. Now say thank you. Now say thank you.
Damn right. Damn right. God.
And since the 80s with this mess. That's it.
When meanwhile, according to him, it is no defense. He said if they fire off 500 nukes, it ain't no defense.
You might get one from Iran.
Damn. Or
You
North
might.
Korea.
Or North Korea.
But as far as from them Russians coming over that Alaska, over that what they call the Northern Sea Ball or whatever the hell they call that, the Bering Strait.
Right.
Them nukes coming all the way home.
So then I wonder why it's up there.
Right.
If it's not there to stop a nuclear attack.
Why did they spend billions?
I don't know.
That ain't what they saying.
Yeah.
That part ain't the myth, but they did send them up.
They up there now.
Right.
They up there right now. I just don't know why though.
I think you're right. Go ahead.
I was going to say something, but y'all bringing out it so heavy. Donald Trump kind of gave us some kind of hint where he was saying, we're fighting against the invisible enemy. That's why I made the Space Force.
Yeah, there you go again. I wonder what that's for. Who knows?
They're getting ready. You're right. The prophecy is coming to pass.
Right. What can be an invisible enemy? I wonder.
I wonder. Right. Remember you said that?
Yeah.
This is an invisible enemy. Go ahead,
If I could, sir, like it was documented where military officials seen the chariots, and they said they seen them traveling at a slow rate, and then when they, as they was looking on to them, they wound up hitting a speed, and they was like the amount of G-force that those those chariots traveled, it would shatter, a human brain. So they know it's the Lord angels is here, and the Lord is getting ready to shut down this place.
And if I could, I don't know why they would develop supersonic weapons. Them tanks moving at 20 miles an hour. Like
this war look awful low tech.
Yes, right. They over there in Ukraine, climbing in windows,
AK-47,
sniping with AK. Like, what did you need the hypersonic, super duper sonic weapon for, unless you fighting the angels of God? Okay. A big shout out to Kathy Howard, Deshaun Canty, Hebrew Jake, Vanessa Coleman. Who else I got up in there? Mary Thomas. Big shout out to you. General Kathum Gabar, No Tag 100. What's going on? Jacob Brown, always down with us in the building, man. Just Music, big respect, man. Okay, to you. I got Kathy Howard, Hebrew Sister, always holding us down. Big shout out to you. Foot to Wise, big shout out to you. Judah 720, Twill Williams, if I didn't get you before. No Face TV, big shout out to y'all. Hey, man, join us. First of all, join us April 2nd, New York City, Alhambra Ballroom. Captain Tazaryak is going toe to toe, okay, with Malik Shabazz of the new Black Panther Party, and it's going to be a hit. This one going to be a heavy hitter. So come check that out. That's going to be beautiful. Join us, of course, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, Cocoa Beach, Florida. We doing it amazingly insane. We coming in from the worldwide zones. And we're going to have the Passover like you've never seen. You're going to get to check out. Big shout out again to Cat McCod and the entire Hebrew Academy team for doing an amazing job. You're going to see some brothers that's got some serious discipline and order, man. I want to thank the heavy hitters, General Muhammad, General Mayat, Pat McCod up in here, my man Morah, Yedai, and Ibad, and all the other brothers up in the building with us and sisters. And the water sister, was you that cooked that food?
That's right.
What's your name, sis? Aurora, big shout out to Aurora, wife of
Nakar,
the mighty man Nakar, with all the beautiful babies. You got some beautiful babies, Nakar, that the Lord had blessed him with, man. Hey, y'all, I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, fam. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The week of Passover is packed with exciting events, hosted by the ISUPK and Commanding General Yohanna. On Tuesday, a deep-sea fishing trip with the generals. Arrival and boarding time at 7:30 a.m. The boat leaves at 8 a.m. sharp. Then on Wednesday, April 13th, join us for the annual lamb slaughter from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. making sure the children of Israel have fresh lamb for the Passover. Then, after that, the I.S.U.P.K. is having a fish fry from 4 p.m. until, which would lead to the scripture breakdown class with General Mahana. Then, on Thursday morning, Hebrew Academy participants will see if they have what it takes to endure the Hebrew Academy trials. Commanding General Yahanna has something special lined up for the children with a children's party from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come join Commanding General Yahanna on Cocoa Beach as we renew our oath unto the Lord.
Because he's supposed to understand the power of the Most High that would destroy him and will destroy him. Real soon. Real. That assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterward be of good cheer. You hear that? They was of good cheer, came along with the Lord as one, and became of good cheer while tens of thousands of Egyptians died. I know y'all don't like to talk about this, but you better put this war spirit back in you, Israel. You better get that spirit back in you, man. You better get that spirit of warfare back in you, because the Lord will put blood on the streets of America and around this world, brother.
Followed by a hotel ballroom, all black and Hebrew Academy dinner from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m., join us for the Lord's annual Passover as commanded in the scriptures at 5 p.m. sharp. On Saturday, April 16th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's right, we're going to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Commanding General Yahanna has it all lined up for you, Israel. Come keep the Lord's Passover. Shalom.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right. It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I got like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean?
This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the greatest. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.